Are you lonely tonight? Are you sitting in your chair watching YouTube all alone? Are you watching videos on how you can come to the Philippines and be a king? How you can find a young and beautiful girl, even though you're 50, 60, 70 years old? Yeah, let's talk about that for a few minutes.
I never got it, why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help that. I love Ron White. I haven't seen any new stuff from him in a while, but man, I love his old stuff. Hey, look, a couple quick things. Number one, if you appreciate the effort we put into the channel, the best way you can show your support is to subscribe and hit the thumbs up. Number two, please watch the entire video if you're going to make a comment. We would certainly appreciate that also. Um, there are at any given time probably a half a dozen videos talking about the best 5 reasons men come to the Philippines and 10 reasons for that and 15 reasons for this and blah, blah, blah. Sure, I'm sure there are. But you know something? I think what was more interesting is that as far as I'm concerned, and I've spoke with Arlene about this, and she agrees with me. As far as we're concerned, there are really only 3 basic reasons that men come to the Philippines. Now, there's a ton of sub reasons, but they all fall somehow into these major reasons. So, reason number one would be finances, obvious. You know, you can't deny it. The cost of living here is less than in the US. That's for sure. Will you live like a king? I don't know. It depends on what your definition is. If you're the king of Saudi Arabia, you're going to need a lot of money to live like the king of Saudi Arabia. All right. Is it the king of Guatemala? Maybe. Maybe close, depending on how much money you have. Is it the king of Somalia? That also. But you can live better for less. That's for sure. Okay. Housing is cheaper. Getting around is cheaper, easier. And when I say getting around, you can't hop a flight in the US for $75 almost anywhere. Okay. Here, you can hop flights cheap all over the Philippines. So, hotels are depending on where you stay. You know what? It's all relative. My point is yes, it can be cheaper. If you want to live like a Filipino on a Filipino diet, it's a lot cheaper. If you want to live half Western, half Filipino, it's still cheaper. If you want to live all Western, well, it's going to be pretty comparable, if not even more often than in the West. But these are all difference and variations. Okay. The second reason, women. That's a big driving issue. And I have some fundamental problems with the thought process that seems to be so prominent right now. I'm coming to meet a traditional Filipino woman? Well, I'm going to give you some striking news. Um, Traditional Philippine women have changed dramatically, and the traditions are changing. Now, don't get me wrong, they're still very family oriented, they're still very supportive of their family. Then, when I say family, even their husbands and their partners, they're still, the ones that maintain the household and take care of getting things done around the house. Those types of things are surely still there. Okay? But they're also much more independent. Filipino women outnumber Filipino men when it comes to college degrees. There are more female Filipinos with college degrees than men, only by a percent or two. But then take a look at the number of Filipinos with college degrees in 2023 versus the number of Filipinos with college degrees in 1985 or 91, all right, or even in 2020. They're far more educated. They're not as naive as some of you would like to believe. The internet has taken a wide grasp onto them. They are exposed to it all over. Even we have a condo here in Angeles City, and we also have a house in Mindanao. Right across the street from our house in Mindanao, one of our neighbors put up what's called the Piso net. It's a PISO, all right? It is literally a coin-operated box. You put in a couple pesos, all right? And it gives you a Wi-Fi pass number, code, whatever, for 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. You can buy as much time as his little machine allows. He's got young adults and kids out there all the time. So they may not have internet in their home, but they're connected to the internet. Trust me, they are highly connected to it. There used to be, and I don't know if this is still the case, but when we first started coming to the Philippines, all right, I can't remember if it was Globe or Smart or one of the others, but one of the telecom, if you had their SIM card and you had a load, you got free Facebook. And what I mean by free Facebook is you didn't have to buy or use data to get it. Facebook came over the data for Facebook came over the cell organization, and it was for free. It was a bonus. All right. I don't know if they still do that. I don't remember even who it was, but they don't pay for that. And I know that we don't consider Facebook to be absolutely connected to the internet. My point is it exposes them to the outside world. Traditions change, absolutely change. Now, on top of all that's reason number 3. And reason number 3 is a combination of 2 factors. It is, number 1, not being happy with the state of affairs and current events in the country that you're currently in, and or wanting that fresh start away from that. And so that fresh start allows you to have it. And you can do that in the Philippines. You can get a fresh start. There are hundreds, if not, I don't know how many vloggers that have done that. They came over, they started their lives all over again. But with those things in mind, I want to caution some of you. I want to caution you about chasing down that young, beautiful woman. Here's what you're going to find out. You're going to find out that if you are in a major metropolitan area, chasing down those young, beautiful women, all right, the under 26, 28 crowd, that's not an old man's game anymore. You're not nearly as desirable as you were 15 years ago. Number two, the less you have to offer, both financially and visually, puts you at a disadvantage. You need to start looking and setting your sights in the over 30 range in these major metropolitan areas. Now, you can still go to places like Angeles City, where a lot of women come from the provinces. All right. You can look at places like Dumaguete, who draw women from outside the city. All right. Those are outliers and they're there. But honestly, for a long-term relationship, I would suggest you start to be a little bit more realistic about your expectations and about what you're willing to deliver for those expectations. Because my final thought on that is women here have become educated, and women here are becoming more educated, and they're being more westernized and exposed to the Western world. These women, they know that they have a future to look out for. It is not living in the here and now. And unless you're entertaining working with them for their future as well, you may find yourself at a disadvantage to others that will. I'm just saying, you know what? Don't be lonely at home. Come on over here. Take a look. Experiment. Take a trip. Have a great time. Look around. Okay? But broaden your horizons just a little bit so it's a little more realistic. Otherwise, we'd like to thank you for dropping in. Have a great day.